So other things that I did when I was in Spain and just trying to get help. I mean, Jesus Christ. So before all of this, I had two companies that I was leading. One was called ARVR Women. It was a nonprofit to bring women into the field of augmented and virtual reality. And there's a very strong business case for doing that because the whole idea is that we're going to be creating these new worlds that we're going to be layering on top of what we call real life, these virtual aspects, and also creating a virtual world where we're completely immersed in this whole other world. And so it makes sense that you have women who are on the creative team, right? Because we're going to, in order to create worlds that probably women want to be in, women have to be part of the creative team. And so when I started ARVR Women, I got a lot of verbal support from men in power saying, this is great. We just want women to be in the field and creators and so forth. And it wasn't backed up at all by action. There was no money coming our way. And I can't say that. That's not true. It's because I was often, as the leader of this group, I was often asked to be judging hackathons. I was asked to be, I was in conferences and speaking not just about women in the field, but the field itself. I was invited and on the steering board for IEEE for the whole tech, global tech, and especially through them, I was speaking at CES and major conferences, not just about inclusion, but just about the tech itself. But after I was kidnapped and forced to go to Maine, and it's not like I said exactly, I couldn't say what was really happening to me, but I think those people, the women in my organization, were the most aware of the real threat and danger that I was in, and they knew something really bad had happened because I was utterly committed to my work, and then I just vanished. So they knew something really bad was happening, and they fled the field, absolutely fled the field. And so, so Facebook ended up, Facebook invested a huge amount in, and actually even changed their name to Meta, which is reflective of sort of the AR/VR world. And so they had invested billions and billions of dollars in creating these virtual worlds where they thought humanity is going to be playing in next. But at that point, there were no female creators. So they created these virtual worlds with all men, and women didn't want to be in them. There were no women in these virtual worlds because it's created by men, and men fucking hate our guts and don't have a clue what we want or need because they haven't bothered to learn. So there were no women in these worlds, no women, no men, right? Men don't want to be where women aren't if it's like leisure and enjoyment or whatever. And so these empty worlds were created with billions and billions of dollars, and eventually Facebook had to lay off a significant proportion of their workforce because they'd invested all this money in what they thought was the near future, and no women wanted to be there, so no men wanted to be there, and it failed. I was the nail. I don't know if you know that metaphor, but for want of the nail, the shoe was lost. For want of the shoe, the horse was lost. For want of the horse, the battle was lost. For want of the battle, the war was lost. I was the nail. I was kidnapped and something horrible happened to me, and women knew enough to know that something really bad was happening to me, and it was scary. It was meant to be terrorizing, I think. And then they fled. And pretty much ARVR has been on hold ever since. So dumb. So dumb.